we've got a special edition of What to Watch on that action-packed season finale of the hit HBO series of White Lotus. Did you watch? I'll go first. Yes, yes, yes. Season 3 follows the fate of the guests and staff at a luxury resort in Thailand. Our guest is actor Walton Goggins. He stars as Rick, a troubled man in search of answers about his father's mysterious past. Now, he has a major part in the finale, so we're going to warn you now. There are some spoilers alerts here in this conversation. That said, you have to watch this segment because we are so glad, Walton Goggins, that you're here in the studio.
Welcome.
I don't know where to begin.
No. Finally, I have people to talk to.
Yes, I know.
Because it's been years, right?
It's been so many years.
You know, in the ending, it's been locked up.
For a very long time. Yeah. And I know we're not going to talk about the ending, but it was...
We're going to talk about it in a bit because Michelle had said people are going to hate Mike White after this episode. I just thought it just showed how brilliant Mike White is yet again. Because on TikTok, there were 1,000 different conspiracies about how this thing was going to end.
I heard all of them on the streets.
And none of them called this. What did you make of all the conspiracy theories?
Well, you know, I mean, all of us, you know, kind of being out in the world, had to had the good fortune of listen to people tell us their version of the story out on the street. And I had my fair share, and I just listened to them the way that I listened to Sam Rockwell, you know, in episode 5, without judgment and just nodding,
What a scene.
And some of them got very close, but no one guessed it.
But can I just talk about your expression during that scene with Sam? Because that's how I felt, too, watching, like, what the hell are we listening to and hearing this? What was your thinking as you were looking at his face? And when you first read it?
Listening without judgment.
I don't know.
How do you not judge me?
Yes. But not really.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was, you know, Sam's a really good friend of mine, and we all read that monologue, you know, when we read the scripts for the very first time. And when the day came, Sam and I, we didn't rehearse it.
You didn't rehearse it?
No, we didn't really even talk about it, you know, very much at all. You know, he's a dear friend of mine, and we just kind of sat opposite this table, and he just kind of went into it the way that he went into it, and it would just happen so organically.
Gosh, and now the finale, Vlad.
The finale was incredible.
Is this where we say spoiler?
Well, it's up to you. I mean, we do have a spoiler, and I want to warn the audience, I hate sharing spoilers, but it's such a big finale. Everybody was talking about it. We do have a moment from the last episode. Now, a major part of your journey was your quest to find the man who you believe killed your father.
That's right, yeah.
This is a spoiler alert, folks, so if you haven't watched this episode yet, please, like, skip this part. Okay. You end up killing Kun Jim, who...
That's a big spoiler alert.
Yeah, a big spoiler. This is a big spoiler. Right. And you find out that Kun Jim is actually your father.
Yes. In that moment, I do.
What was your reaction when you read that?
Well, you know, reading it for the first time, understanding that is where we were headed, right? And that's the Mount Everest that we were climbing. I knew that it was going to be a very patient, slow walk to get to that point. And I sympathized so greatly with Rick's pain because his entire life story was defined by this event that, you know, he was told by his mother. And the genius of Mike White in that revelation, Rick only has a couple of seconds to register it before he is being fired at.
But in addition to that...
And so you never really get that.
But in addition to that, the Rick and Chelsea love story, too.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really true love story.
Yeah.
What happens to them, too.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean,
also a shock.
I think it is the first love story in the White Lotus, and it was always a love story. And, you know, their relationship at the beginning of this experience, that wasn't their relationship 3 years prior when they met. It was because of this, you know, event that kind of happened.
They're counting us down with 4. I want to say, I do think your hairline is sexy.
Hey.
Walton Goggins. We'll be right back.
We didn't even give